Welcome to the Story Porch, where timeless tales remind us of what truly matters in life. Today, we bring you the story of Ravi, the son of a diamond merchant, a young man who learned that true wealth is not measured in gold or jewels, but in patience, faith, and the goodness of the heart. This is a story of trials, betrayal, and redemption, a tale that shows how challenges, guidance, and even mistakes can shape a destiny greater than any treasure. So take a deep breath, settle into a quiet place, and let the journey of the diamond tree begin. Once upon a time, in a bustling city known for its sparkling gems, there lived a man named Dev, a famous diamond merchant. He was admired for his sharp eye, his honesty, and his ability to turn a simple stone into a treasure. Arun traveled across kingdoms, meeting kings and queens, buying rare jewels and selling them for great fortune. His name became known far and wide, not only as a man of wealth, but as one of wisdom and integrity. After many years of hard work, Arun's greatest joy finally arrived: a baby boy. He named him Ravi. The child's laughter filled Arun's grand house with light. But fate, as it often does, brought sorrow too soon. When Ravi was only 1 year old, his mother passed away, leaving a deep emptiness in Arun's heart. People advised him to remarry, to find a woman who could care for the child while he continued his business abroad. But Arun could not bear the thought of another raising his son. He made a decision that would change his life forever. He gave up his travels, his business, and the endless chase for wealth. From that day, Arun became both a father and a mother to little Ravi. He learned to cook, to soothe the crying child, to tell bedtime stories instead of counting jewels. His once busy hands that weighed diamonds now tied tiny shoes and wiped away tears. Though he was a man of the world, he found that raising his son was the greatest journey of all, one filled not with gold or glory, but with love, sacrifice, and quiet joy. And in those silent nights, when the city slept, Arun often looked up at the stars and whispered, "Your mother would be proud, my son. I'll give you all the love that life can offer." Years passed, and little Ravi grew into a young man. He was kind-hearted, gentle, and full of dreams. Yet something about him deeply worried his father. Dev often sat by the window, watching his son play carelessly in the courtyard, and a heavy sigh would escape his lips. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of amber, Arun called his old servant and loyal friend, Manoj, to his side. "Manoj," he began softly, "I am troubled. My boy, he is pure of heart, but he lacks wisdom. He struggles in his studies, forgets easily, and has no sense of how the world truly works. He trusts everyone, and I fear that one day that trust will break him." Manoj, who had served Arun since his youth, looked at his master with quiet concern. "Sir," he said gently, "every father worries about his son, but do not lose hope. The same world that taught you will one day teach him too. Perhaps not through books, but through experience." Arun shook his head. "You don't understand, Manoj. Ravi doesn't see danger even when it stands before him. He is too innocent, too easily misled. I am growing old, and I fear I won't live long enough to guide him. What will happen when I am gone?" Manoj smiled faintly. "My lord, when you were young, your father left you nothing but his blessings, and still, you built an empire. Maybe fate has written a similar path for young Ravi. Do not measure him by his weakness today. Give him a chance to find his own strength." Arun leaned back in his chair, lost in thought. The flickering lamplight danced upon his tired face. He wanted to believe Manoj's words, yet his heart remained heavy. What if life was not kind to his son? What if the world, with all its greed and deceit, swallowed his boy whole? That night, as Ravi slept peacefully, Arun stood beside his bed, gently brushing a strand of hair from his forehead. "My son," he whispered, "you may not be wise yet, but you have a good heart. I pray that someday that goodness will lead you to your purpose, even when I am no longer here to show you the way." Outside, the night wind carried his prayer into the dark, a father's love, fragile yet eternal. Time, as always, moved quietly forward. The seasons changed, the city grew busier, and Dev's hair slowly turned silver. His once steady hands trembled, and his steps grew slower with each passing day. He no longer visited the market or spoke of business. His heart and strength were fading. Yet his love for Ravi burned brighter than ever. One morning, feeling his body weaken, Arun called for his son. Ravi came rushing in, his eyes filled with concern. "Father, are you unwell?" he asked, kneeling beside the bed. Arun smiled faintly. "My dear boy," he said, his voice calm but tired, "my time in this world is nearing its end. Before I leave, there are a few things you must know." Ravi's eyes filled with tears, but he stayed silent, holding his father's hand. "When you were born," Arun continued, "I was one of the richest jewelers in the land. But to raise you, I gave up everything. My travels, my trade, my fortune. All that remains of my wealth are these." He reached for a small leather pouch beside him and placed it in Ravi's hands. Inside were 10 shining diamonds, each glowing softly in the morning light. "These stones," Arun said, "are all I have left. But they are not meant to make you rich. They are meant to guide you. Seek out my old friend, Rajesh Varma, who once helped me when I was young. He is a good man, though his heart may have hardened with success. Tell him who you are, and he will help you begin your journey." Arun paused, catching his breath. "He also has a daughter, kind and wise. If fate allows, I would be honored to see you build a life with her. But remember, my son, wealth alone brings no peace. Be honest, be humble, and always take care of those who stand by you." He then turned his gaze to Manoj, who stood silently in the corner, eyes wet with emotion. "Manoj has been more than a servant. He has been family. Never forget his loyalty, Ravi. Always be the kind of man others can trust." As the sun rose, a soft light filled the room. Arun closed his eyes and whispered, "Everything I have, everything I am, is in you now, my son." That evening, the house fell silent, for the great diamond merchant Arun Dev had taken his final breath. After completing the final rites, Ravi packed his belongings and set out on a long journey to find Rajesh Varma, the man his father had once called a true friend. The road was dusty, and Ravi traveled on foot for many days. At last, he reached a grand mansion standing proudly at the heart of a rich town. The golden gates shone in the sunlight, guarded by servants dressed in fine silks. Gathering his courage, Ravi walked forward and said to the guard, "Please tell your master that the son of Arun Dev wishes to see him." Moments later, he was led inside. The hall was filled with marble pillars, shining chandeliers, and the scent of jasmine. Rajesh Varma, a man of wealth and authority, sat on a velvet chair, surrounded by traders and guests. When he heard the name Arun Dev, a faint shadow crossed his face. "Ah, Arun Dev," he said with a cold smile. "It has been many years. What brings his son here?" Ravi bowed respectfully. "Sir, before my father passed away, he asked me to find you. He said you once helped him when he was in need. I have here 10 diamonds, all that he left me. I came seeking your guidance to start a business, and if fate allows, to build a life beside your daughter, as my father once wished." The hall fell silent. Then Rajesh suddenly laughed, a harsh, cruel laugh that echoed through the marble walls. "You?" he sneered. "The son of a man who died poor and forgotten? You dare to speak of marrying my daughter?" Ravi's face flushed with shame, but he stayed calm. Rajesh stood, his eyes burning with pride. "Take your pathetic diamonds and bury them in the ground. Maybe, if you are lucky, they will grow into a tree and give you the fortune you dream of." Laughter filled the hall. Ravi felt his heart break, not because of the insult to himself, but because Rajesh had spoken ill of his late father. Still, he bowed and said quietly, "I wish you peace, sir," and turned away. As he stepped out of the mansion, the world suddenly felt heavier. Yet deep inside, a spark of determination began to stir. The journey back home felt longer than before. Every step Ravi took echoed with the cruel laughter of Rajesh Varma. His father's voice urged him to stay steadfast. When he reached his small field, Ravi dug 10 small holes and gently placed the diamonds into the earth, covering them carefully with soil. He whispered, "Father, guide me. Let these seeds of hope grow into something worthy of your name." Each day he watered the soil, tending it faithfully. Weeks passed, yet nothing appeared. Neighbors laughed, children teased him, but Ravi's faith never wavered. One night, a homeless man appeared, hungry and weary. Ravi gave him his meal, and in return, the man spoke words of guidance, telling Ravi to dig where he buried the diamonds, for his fortune awaited there. At dawn, Ravi dug deeply and unearthed a treasure chest, filled with gold, jewels, and a book detailing how to trade them wisely. With Manoj by his side, he began his jewelry business, which flourished in a matter of months. But Manoj, racked with guilt, confessed he had secretly taken 2 diamonds earlier. Ravi, remembering his father's lessons of forgiveness, returned them to Manoj with a warning. Loyalty cannot be betrayed twice. Eventually, Rajesh Varma's arrogance and failing business brought him back to Ravi, humbled and repentant. Ravi forgave him, offering guidance but refusing to forget the insult to his father. Ravi married Rajesh's daughter, honoring his father's wish, and hosted a grand wedding where all villagers were fed, including the homeless man who had guided him. He established a charitable foundation in his father's name, feeding the hungry and educating children. The legend of Ravi, the son of Arun Dev, spread far and wide. A tale of patience, faith, integrity, and the enduring power of forgiveness. In the end, it was not gold or jewels, but a heart filled with virtue that made him truly rich. And so ends the tale of Ravi and the Diamond Tree, a story that reminds us that patience, integrity, and kindness are treasures far greater than gold. Through trials, faith, and forgiveness, Ravi discovered that a heart willing to give and a spirit willing to believe can overcome any hardship. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the Story Porch for more timeless tales from around the world. Remember, true wealth is measured not by what we hold, but by the love, virtue, and courage we carry within. Thank you for watching, and may your own journey be filled with light, hope, and endless possibilities.